Today we are going to learn about the industrial development as well as the poverty and famine during the British rule. Okay, so let's start with the industrial development of India during the British rule. So during the 19th century, the industries such as jute, cotton, textile, iron and steel, paper and leather industry were the prime industry or the major industries. And the major income source of nation of India at that time was because of this industries. Okay, but as we see till the end of the 19th century, the development of these industries slowed down. And why so? Because of the interference of the British government. But India wanted to develop its industry, specifically cotton industry, during the 19th century, and so the efforts were made in that direction. The first Indian mill was established in Kolkata in 1818. Okay, and after that next cotton mill was established in Mumbai in 1854, and after that the next mill was established in Ahmedabad in 1861 by Ranchhodlal Chotalal. Okay, and soon many other places cotton textile mills came up, like in Nagpur, Solapur, Madras, etc. So over a short period of time, many cotton mills were established in various parts of India, and sooner Ahmedabad came to be known as the India's Manchester with 108 cotton textile mills. Because Ahmedabad was having a major number of cotton textile mills, it came to be known as India's Manchester. Okay, and also we can see that during the 20th century, that is during the 1905 AD, that is at that time the Swadeshi movement was going on, and so because of that Swadeshi movement also, Indian industries, and that too especially cotton industry, gained many benefits. But these industries were harassed by Britishers. So how they were harassing the industries? Because of their policies. So in 18th century, Britishers implemented protected industrial policy, and in 19th century they implemented free trade policy. So what happens in protected industrial policy is that the government tries to protect the industry that they want to promote, and in free trade policy the barriers of the import and exports are removed. So though these two policies were against each other, but they were implemented, or they were applied in such a way that it benefited Britishers only, and it destroyed the industries of India. Okay, also to hinder the growth of Indian industries, what Britishers did was they removed the import duty on goods in 1860. So what happened was, because of the removal of this import duty, the British goods became cheaper, and also what Britishers did was they implemented heavy taxes or the heavy duties on the exports. So the Indian goods became expensive, and in this way also they ruined the Indian industries. But after that, the first jute weaving industry started with the economic support of Britishers. So in India, when jute weaving industry was started, the capital was from the Britishers, and so it is known as the economic support of Britishers. And in 1911, Jamshedji Tata established an iron factory, and in 1907 in Vadodara, the Alembic Chemical Works began. So what happened was, first of all, with the British capital or British economic support, the jute weaving industry started, and in 1911 Jamshedji started iron factory, and in 1907 in Vadodara the Alembic Chemical Works started. Okay, and apart from that, paper, tobacco, silk, leather industries were also established. But as you can see, Mahatma Gandhi gave encouragement to weaving small scale industries and crafts to remove poverty and unemployment. So Mahatma Gandhi was favor in the industries such as weaving, small scale industries or craft based industries, so that the poverty and unemployment can be removed. But he never opposed the ideas of the machines, but he opposed the ideas that the mania for machines. And as we know that for any development of the industry requires research and development. So for this research in science, the J.R.D. Tata established Indian Institute of, and he also tried to set up industries making aeroplanes, but Britishers didn't allow. But during the Second World War, there was a notable increase in industries. So though Britishers didn't allow, but the circumstances of Second World War was such that there were notable increase in industries. So industries like chemical industry, ship making industry began on a small scale industry. And what Britishers did, they imposed heavy taxes, but still industries made remarkable profits. So Britishers were not able to stop the industrial revolution in India. And sooner after independence, that is after 15 August 1947, government started welfare schemes for the industries, and again India became to be known as the country of agriculture and industries. Okay. Then we come to the next topic, that is famine and poverty in India during the British rule. So what were the major characteristics of British rule in India and what were the results of various British policies was that there was extreme poverty among the people, okay? And this poverty culminated or it resulted into a series of famine in various parts of India during the second half of the 19th century. That is second half of the 19th century, that is after 1850s, okay? So in the paragraph over here, the data is given in which year the famine occurred and what were its result. So let's have a look on it. So during the early years of company rule, that is under the Lord Canning's, famine occurred in Agra, Rajputana and Punjab in 1861, and there was no steps taken by the government to help people, okay? Then during Sir John Lawrence's time in 1866, there was a terrible drought in Orissa, and because of this drought, nearly 20 lakh people died of starvation. Then the next famine occurred in 1867 to 69 in Rajputana and Bundelkhand, and during those times, to some extent, the affected people were taken care of by the Britishers. And likewise in 1876 and 1878, the famine occurred in Bengal and Bihar, and during that time Northbrook imported rice from Burma to help the people. Then during the beginning of the rule of the Viceroy Lytton, the worst famine occurred in 1876 and 78 in Madras, Mysore, Punjab and in some parts of central India. Okay, what Viceroy Lytton did during those times, but let's have some other facts before that. Then during the time of Viceroy Elgin II, a terrible famine occurred and almost 3,040,000 people were affected and around 7.5 people died. But still government did nothing during that time. Then Viceroy Curzon did not take relief measures during the famine of 1899 and 1900, and lakhs of people died and millions of wealth were destroyed in it. Now let's have a look on what Viceroy Lytton did during the famine of 1876 and 70. So what Viceroy Lytton did during those times, he spent considerable amount of money on the famine relief. Even though the amount was spent, 50 lakh people died and 20 lakh hectare of land remained uncultivated. And so government had to let go the revenue of 2.5 crore rupees. So what happened was, after this loss, a committee was formed under the chairmanship of Sir Richard Strachey, okay? And this committee recommended some measures to help the people and to drive them out of the famine. So what does this committee recommended? They recommended providing employment to able persons, help the disabled, providing loans for purchase of seeds, waiving of taxes, etc. And also at that time, British government decided to set aside 1.5 crore rupees for carrying out the construction workings, railway, canals, etc. so that the employment can be provided. And this expenditure was to be borne by the government, that is the regional government, but whenever the need would occur, the central government would help. So Viceroy Lytton became to be known as the maker of the famine policy. So if someone questions who was the maker of the famine policy, then the Viceroy Lytton was the maker of the famine policies, okay? And later on, the relief measures that were adopted were based on this policy only, okay? Then there is a writer named William Digby. He was a British writer. He calculated that in all, over 2,85,000 people died during the famine from 1854 to 1901, and a famine in 1943 carried away nearly 3 million people in Bengal, and thus these famines and the high losses of life caused poverty in India. Okay, so these were the poverty and famines in India under the British rule. So over here we complete our chapter. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can comment on that particular video and I will try my best to solve your doubts or to make it easy for you to understand. Okay.